Meet my coaching student, Edgar. A year and a half ago, he was a completely new Amazon seller. Since he's done over 7 figures in sales, over 6 figures in profit, and even sold 42 grand of product in one single day last Q4. In this video, we're going to go through his entire story from zero to successful 7 figure Amazon seller, and he was able to drop out of college. Let's get right into the video with Edgar. What's up, Edgar? Newest 7 figure seller in the crew here, man. Welcome to the channel.
Yes, sir. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. So you're representing Arizona well, man. Like a year and a half ago, you had a little bit of shoe reselling experience, but you were brand new to selling on Amazon, right? You want to talk through, what's really happened since then and where you're at now?
Yeah, so I started reselling vintage clothing and then reselling like hype shoes like Jordans and Dunks. Did that from like 18 to like 19. And then from like 20 to 21, I've just been selling on Amazon. Started like a year and a half ago, and it's been going good.
Sure. And then what like quantifiable like profit numbers have you been at since then, basically? Because I know it's a lot further than both of us expected, you to do when we were first getting to know each other.
Yeah. So, I mean, year to date, right now I'm at 70K profit. So that's where I'm at right now, which is pretty much like almost better than what I did last year and still got like 4 months left in the year. So.
Yeah, and you didn't even have, that much time last year as well. And you had an epic Q4. So tell us about the Q4 and then we'll dig into your story and everything, especially that one huge day.
Yeah, that's what I get like recognized for. Like when people, when I meet up with people, they're like, "Oh, you did that." But what happened was I had a 40K, over 40K revenue day. It was actually Cyber Monday, so I listed like all the products I got in from sourcing, like all in one day. Ended up doing like 42 point something K revenue, and it was like 7,500 profit in one day.
And see, the interesting thing with that is you probably realized you sold some of that stuff too early.
Yeah,
In regards to what you could have gotten, right? And that, a lot of you guys watching this is coming up is going to be your first Q4. And I'd say, the party really starts, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. A lot of sales, a lot of Black Friday sales will even start the Sunday before Black Friday. So you can even order stuff when Black Friday sales technically start the Sunday before Black Friday, the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and have FBM stock loaded up and everything, man. But talk about the early days of selling Amazon. So you had a reselling background. Lots of people watching this video have an eBay background, have a sneaker reselling background. What was it like, getting the ball rolling Amazon wise, a year and a half ago or so last spring or 2 springs ago?
yeah. I mean, I definitely had experience because coming from selling hype shoes, from selling clothing, I mean, you understand like the market and like how to sell in general. So you do have that experience, but getting into Amazon, there's a big learning curve. But I mean, when you have like a mentor like Miles, you have people that you talk to on a daily basis about these things, it helps out a ton with the whole learning curve.
Yeah, and so I think it was March or April of 2023 that you got started. You want to kind of give us a timeline of like some of the big inflection points as you were scaling up your journey so people can get context on how you've grown?
So I started in February of 2023, and the first 2 months was like me just trying to do it by myself, trying to figure it out on my own. And then after that, I actually decided like, I need to talk to other sellers. I need to put myself in situations where I'm with other sellers. We're solving problems together, right? So that was like the first big inflection point for me. And then after that, it was me transitioning to OA because up to that point, I was only doing RA. So then doing OA just opened doors for me to where I don't have to go to the stores. I don't have to go source products in store. Now I'm getting it shipped to me, and then I can get it shipped to my prep center. Now I'm not even touching the product. So it just kept going on and on. And then now it's like a little bit of wholesale. So that's what's going on.
Yeah, and it's very important that you have to understand like Edgar put in tons of work doing all right in the trenches scanning
Right.
products. And then he spent a ton of good time online doing online arbitrage as well. And then now he gets to have a nicely delegated business with the prep center basically. So walk through kind of what your day-to-day looks like now with the current setup, man, because it's significantly different than I'm driving to every Nike outlet in Arizona, right? It's significantly different, right? I know you got some travel plans as well. Like talk to me on that.
Yeah, like it's crazy how far you can get like in just a year. Like a year ago, I'd be putting in like, God, like 10, 12 hour days like normal. Now it's like I do way better numbers in like way less time. So like right now, like what I do in the day, like jujitsu pretty much every morning, I'll do that for 2 hours, then get home, do like Amazon business stuff. So I'll be updating my seller board. I'll be sourcing stuff OA. I might go from practice and just go source RA for a couple hours, then get home. And then at that point, it's like I outsource like the prep to people that come over, they prep the RA products, or I'll just do OA source products myself. Do that for a couple hours, and that's pretty much the day.
Sure. And so back in the day, you were ordering OA products to yourself, right? But now I assume you're probably ordering the OA products to the prep center base. So you want to break down what that kind of business model looks like and how prep centers can help you scale?
Yeah, so especially for new sellers, the prep center you work with, you have to do your research on them. Just make sure. And the best way to do research is by talking to other sellers who are working with these other prep centers, right? But how it works is you find a good prep center, right? Once you buy products, instead of shipping it to your house, you're shipping it to that prep center. So then once it's shipping to that prep center, you typically have a shared sheet where you just put in like what items they're expecting. So you just upload that into that sheet, right? And then from there, they prep the products, they send it to Amazon on your behalf. So you're not even having to touch the products, which is amazing.
Yeah, exactly, guys. And within your Boxem account that you're creating shipments through, right, your prep center can get limited access through these sub users features so they can actually go in on Boxem and create shipments on your behalf to get that going. So there's a really key piece of that, right? And that obviously finding a good prep center and finding good virtual assistants, right? A great way to potentially do that is to share a prep center with one of your homies, share a virtual assistant with one of your homies, right? So how has that played into making your journey easier in terms of like being active in the community and just having a presence, around other Amazon sellers?
It's everything. Like that is like Miles harps on this the most, but like networking with other sellers, having other friends that do the same business that you do helps so much, right? Because you're just combining minds, right? You'd rather have three minds, for example, three minds sourcing an OA sale versus one person sourcing it by yourself, right? You learn from their mistakes, they learn from your mistakes. It's just compounds. So that's probably like my biggest tip I could get, or biggest tip I could give to you, is just networking with other sellers.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that part's free, bro, as well, right? And that I
Yeah.
believe did I put you, Brian, and Abe together, or did you guys just meet in the group? I can't remember.
No, you put us together, and
I
then now
did.
we're
That's
still
beautiful,
talking a
man.
year
I'm
later.
so proud of you guys. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful, right? And that all you guys literally we've done videos with everyone now, right? And you guys have all had a bunch of fun together. You probably haven't even met those guys in person, right?
No, I'm pretty sure Brian's going to Amazon United, and Abe
Oh,
needs to go because he's
you
not there.
are as well?
I'm gonna go. Yeah, are you
Oh,
going?
cool. All right. Of course, man. All right.
Oh,
There we
yeah.
go. Cool. Okay. Sweet. Sweet. Very. So we will get to link up in person, but that's the cool thing is, Edgar and I will talk about like, moving to Miami and different like personal life stuff. And we literally have friends that we've never even met in person here. And that's one of the beautiful benefits of selling on Amazon or just honestly anything on the internet in general, completely unrelated to kind of the business model that
Yeah.
ends up benefiting it a lot. Right. Just because like Edgar is saying, if you're, sourcing a sale and you're doing it on your own, it'd be like hunting as an animal on your own versus hunting with the team of other animals, right? It's obvious who's going to get more output, basically, too. If you guys want personalized one-on-one help scaling up your Amazon business with Q4 right around the corner, now's a great time to apply for my coaching program. You'll get unparalleled one-on-one access to me, 3 group coaching calls per week, all my coupons, tips, tricks, and strategies, all connected with other Amazon sellers, and we'll have a one-on-one live sourcing call as well. So I'll leave the link down below in the description for my coaching program application if you want to see some other people who have helped along with Edgar. So check that out, the link in the description. Apply if you're interested. Would love to help you scale up. And back to the video. So back to school's finishing up here. You had a great Q4 last year, right? Culminating in that massive Cyber Monday, right? I'm sure plan to even take more advantage of that this year and everything, man. What Q4 tips do you have for beginner sellers?
Q4 tips I would have is have your group established, right? Have the people that you're going to be sourcing with established. So team of 3, 4 people that you're doing OA with. Have a network of people locally if you're doing RA that you
Ooh,
can talk
that's
about.
something you guys have done a great job. Is it Phoenix or Arizona? I
Yeah,
know you guys have done a
Arizona.
great job of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot of the people that were in the hype shoe world. We just stuck together, and then we still like ping each other when, for example, Nike's having a 40% off clearance, stuff like that. But just having your network established for RA, for OA, for wholesale leading up to Q4, and if it is your first Q4, it's going to be hard knowing which products to go really deep on. But I mean, come your second Q4, you're dialed. Like hey, I need to get like thousands of these units in anticipation for Q4. So that'll just come with experience.
Yeah, and if it's your Q4, first Q4, you definitely want to just test nice and light, man. Like that reduces a lot of risk, right? And then once you get purchase data, if something sold really well, then it might be time to go, it probably is time to go a little bit heavier, but you're going to know that once something sells well. And that's a big Q4, frequently asked question I'll get, man, is when to go deep on stuff, right? And I'd say, only when you have data that you should go deep on something.
Yeah.
So you buy 40 of something when 27 sold yesterday, right? And some of you guys watching this can't even imagine something selling 27 in one day. That
Yeah.
comes with time, right?
Yeah.
And everything. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Another thing too is FBMing. So you're gonna have a period of time where your stuff won't check in FBA in time, but you can still sell at FBM from like late November to like all the way up to like a few days before Christmas, and it'll fly. So don't just use that time. Like say, don't look at that time and think, oh, I can't send anything in right now. You can still list at FBM and make tons of money still.
Yeah, and that's the big thing too, is that's the real scalable part too, because you can restock stuff so quick with FBM. So in terms of, specifically for Q4, October and the first half of November, right? Sending in fat FBA shipments, loading up box them, 2D barcodes, all that stuff, right? And then once November 15th, November 20th hits, that's when FBM and merchant fulfill, or FBM merch fill, is going to be a lot bigger of a thing, because competition starts to go down in terms of FBA sellers, which, and as demand's increasing, that opens up a lot of opportunity for FBM sellers as well. So I know you mentioned you're doing RA and OA currently, a little bit of wholesale. Talk about what it was like getting into wholesale from OA, and what kind of you've seen and what you've learned, kind of diversifying your business model a little bit more.
Yeah, it definitely helps having experience doing OA, having experience doing RA, getting into wholesale versus straight getting into wholesale. With OA, like even me, like I'll have products that I source OA where I'm like, I could get this wholesale. Let me just contact the brand. And if the brand doesn't want to sell to me, maybe they have authorized distributors that they'll refer me to. So then you go with that route. And it's just a whole, like, just deep in the rabbit hole from there. Then you're finding other products and so on. So it just goes on and on.
Yeah, and have you gone more the brand direct route or the distributor route so far?
I've gone brand direct. It's just very hard. Like you need to provide value. There's a lot of like nitty gritty stuff you need to know with listing optimization. With like there's it just goes into so much detail with stuff you need to know. But I've been mostly doing distributors for time being.
Got you. Cool. Okay, sweet. So basically, big companies that sell tons of different products, basically. And that's what some big wholesalers I know recommend as well, in terms of
Yeah.
getting going with that stuff. But it's so interesting, man, how the industry's evolved. And that, like, 3-4 years ago, as I was just getting onto the scene, like, no one even considered doing big numbers with OA. Right. It was
Mhm.
completely out of like even the consideration. And now it's so normalized that, like, OA is going to have better margins for the most part. OA is going to have better lead time almost always, right? OA is going to have better cash flow, better merchant fulfilled potential, less super high review competition that might be paying less than you, right? And
Mhm.
you see a lot of competitive advantages, and it's interesting the way that the industry is kind of evolving, right? Obviously, OA does cap out at a certain amount, right? But you can't worry about that until you're making multiple six figures profit a year, which takes a bunch of work, right? As well, man. So if you could go back and tell yourself, what you needed to know 18 months ago for the new sellers watching this, what are some tips you're giving to yourself for back in the day when you were just getting going?
When I was just getting going, what I wish I knew is, I mean, I've already said this, but getting that team early on of people that you talk to on a daily basis and just building with them, building together, as well as just putting yourself out there with social media, because that's how you're going to find people. And so many opportunities come up just from putting yourself out there with social media. So putting yourself out there with social media, finding the team of people you want to work with. That would be what I wish I knew when I first
Yep.
started.
Yeah, and then from my experience, right, all that, and then just testing items light, merch fulfilled when you can, when you see the opportunity available, and then stepping up to the plate big during back to school. And you guys are watching since the end of back to school. Really, really Q4 of this year, primarily once the party really, really starts to get going, which is going to be in mid-November, late November, and then absolute just FBM madhouse in early December. I assume you probably took over the garage, the living room, a whole bunch of
Oh
stuff
yeah.
last year.
Yeah, like last Q4, it's like I had two like carports in the garage. Then it was going inside. I was sending you photos, I think back then, where I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm in
man,
the
of
living
course,
room.
right?
Now the garage is full. Now
Yeah,
my room. So
that's what I'm saying, right? And you check out Edgar's Twitter as well. You can see some of the party with that as well. How much profit you make last December?
last December, I think it was 17 over 17,000.
And
Yeah.
that's the key, is that's not even
Yeah.
counting the big Cyber Monday as well. But you can definitely do a lot more than that this year. You get a lot more dial, a lot deeper, more capital availability, etc. Man. So for people who want to follow, more of your journey, I know you're doing some traveling coming up soon too, which is beautiful the way you've just integrated FBA into your life,
Yeah.
right? And being able to, really get some good stuff. You drop out of college too and everything, which is awesome. Like what where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, so it's just my name on Twitter and X. So if you just search Edgar Delgado II, you'll be able to find it.
Cool. Yeah, so you check out the boy right there. I'll link in the description too. Appreciate you, you guys tapping in. And it's super proud of you, Edgar, man. You and the boys. Abe, we just did a podcast with Abe too, which is
Yeah, I
pretty
gotta watch
cool
it.
too. Appreciate you coming on, man. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Hope this video is helpful, guys. Edgar's story, super awesome. Super proud of that guy, man. Very, very excited for everything he's got going on. And for Q4, if you guys want personalized one-on-one help, check out the link in the description. Check out my full free course right here. Subscribe. Let me know any questions in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.